What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on Evan's Gaming Channel. Here with Kirby, of course, like my favorite character. So in today's video, I've been very excited lately. I've been watching a lot of old school fighting games, and I've always wanted to play a ton of them that I have not tried. So, which is like like Fightcade and whatnot. I've been watching a lot of Fightcade, and we're gonna look into a couple matches here of what I've enjoyed about what games were different from the past to now. And I'm gonna get into just a couple of topics about that, and I want to play the trailer for Blazing Strike. And this is the main one of the main reasons I'm excited for Blazing Strike so much. Is I like games that like to know that the old school options are still not a bad thing, and that those some companies out there know that it's still a good idea to make games like that, and people still enjoy them. So and that's why CBS 2 and Third Strike and stuff are still played in tournaments today, because like Marvel 1, Marvel 2, these games are still a big factor, and I'm just very excited to get more into trying more games like that. I like a lot of today's games, but they just don't have the fun factor a lot of those games back then did, how fast they moved and whatnot. So we're gonna take a lot of footage, especially for those of you who are on my channel that are not too familiar with a lot of the old school games. So you can watch new school footage, which I'm not gonna put up. Is basically just today's newer games, and you're gonna see footage from older games that I'm gonna play on here. Just a couple clips of older games, and we'll talk through some matches, and we'll just talk about how fast the game moves. And I've saved a couple clips for those matches through Fightcade for different things that people have played, which I would like to upload games for at some point. And there are a lot of games, speaking of old school style, similar to like what's it that like have a real smooth style to it, like Blade Arcus. I played Third Strike a while back. Dengeki has a good feel to it. Blade Strangers, which is a game I'm gonna start replaying again soon. Omen of Sorrow. These are games, a lot of that old school feel. The graphics differentiate and change, but it's how the game feels, and it's beautiful to the love that they give to a good aesthetic that a lot of today's games kind of lack. And so we're gonna go ahead and watch the Blazing Strike trailer. And I want you to take a look at how the game looks. And it's very, see, that's what I mean. Like those old school games, it's good that developers know that people love games like this, and they still want to bring it to us. See, small roster, you don't need games today packed with DLC and whatnot. Small roster. I mean, have you seen the Marvel Heroes roster? It's like 8 characters, and that game is great. And this is why another game I played before is Chaos Code, Last Blade 2, the old Sam Show series. We're gonna get into a couple of topics. It's just lately I've just really been enjoying the old school style of games, and as I've been playing the newer games out today, I've just been wondering why I never really gave myself a chance to try a lot of the older games, and what made old school fighting games better than new school fighting games. So, and I like games like this because it takes you back to the past. I did a review on this trailer already on my channel. If you have not seen it, definitely go check it out. But obviously, this is just like another look at the same thing. So now, what I want to get into is I'm going to back out, and I'm going to go to some setup like videos and whatnot, and we're gonna show you a little bit of the old school style here. So I'm gonna play here. Oh, sorry, wrong match. Not this one. What's going on my computer today? Hello. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Had some computer issues there. Let's see if we can stretch it out to theater mode. Okay. So this is a match I found on CBS 1. So we're gonna go and watch a little bit of it and just look at the aesthetic. This is SNK versus Capcom. So look at the older school style, and it's really cool for me personally to see the Street Fighter characters with the King of Fighters look on their artwork. So as we prepare for KOF 15, for those of you that missed out on the older games or even KOF 13, this is pretty much how a lot of these games used to play. And this is just look at how just the aesthetic of how fast the game is. And we're gonna get into a couple different matches, not just SNK. We're gonna get into like, I started a while back watching a lot of old school Guilty Gear, watching the Tokugeki, Super Battle Opera, a lot of those events, and it makes you miss the old school days of gaming. The arcade runs, just the beauty of it. I have a local arcade at my mall that has a lot of old school cabinet games in its arcade, so that's really cool. I'm gonna go do that a little bit more soon, but and you have Geese versus Chun-Li, which is really cool to see. And I do think a CVS 3 is possible in today's thing, but it'll just look not what people want. It's going to be too 3D, too realistic looking. They'll have the graphics, sure, but the gameplay will probably not be all that, but I can't really say. I mean, we'll most likely get a CVS 3 than we will over a Tekken Cross Street Fighter anytime soon. I mean, this was the greatest era. You had Street Fighter versus Marvel. Just so much going on. But what is it? Marvel Heroes, X-Men, Children of the Atom. We're gonna get into quite a couple videos, and they all, that's one of the reasons I enjoyed BlazBlue Cross Tag so much, because it took all those. Look at this pressure. Just eat my overheads. This is just spamming V skill with Chun-Li and Street Fighter 5. V skill 1. And that's what I liked about BB Tag. It took all those properties and balanced the game out through pretty much all of their stuff outside of Unio's the Vorpal system. But everything else, it pretty much had a lot of that. And of course, I'm very much looking forward to the Persona 4, which is out next month. On Steam, they have Under Night Uniclear for like $8. I definitely want to get down and try to play that game. I'm going to try that other character they put in. Plus, I missed that game. I love playing the Nase, and I like Enkidu. Yeah, this is why I like the older school style of games, and this is just something I recently discovered about myself. As much as I love playing a lot of today's games, I love the aesthetic of the older games. They just felt more fun and more competitive to me. I mean, yeah, sure, a lot of them were busted. Let's not bullshit, but I mean, they were still super fun. Today's games are overpatched, they're over marketed with DLC, and it's just they're all rinse repeat. I mean, look at Nickelodeon All Star Brawl right now. I mean, that's a game that had a lot of promise in the beginning, and then it died, and now literally it's become one of those games that only gets hyped whenever there's a new character out. People are gonna play Shredder for like half a month, and then the game will get stale until they release another character. The patches aren't doing good, I'm assuming, for whoever's playing the game, but yeah, it's not it's not a big game anymore. It's yeah, that game's done. So, and sometimes companies release new games and you get a step backwards. All right, let's go ahead and back out of this match. But you see what I mean. You want to watch the full match? There it is down there to link. So let's see if I can find that other match that I clicked on. I really need to start pausing this before I back out, but it makes the computer work too hard. Whatever. So let me see if this one will click. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with all this, man. I want to make a video, and then like the night I do it, just the whole computer's having problems processing. So what we got here. Let's see, where's let me show you another cool game that I found. Let me see if I can find the one with is this the one with Duck King, or let me see. This is another one too. I think this game is interesting if they were to make a game like this today. It's called World Heroes. Okay. All right, so I want you to watch if they play deathmatch. Okay, so this is a cool thing about this game. So this game plays the basic 2D style. However, you notice something in the middle is the health bar, and there's a referee. So it's very similar to like Samurai Showdown. Sorry about the quality. Of course, the computer is loading the best it can. So, all right, now everything is a way to be attacked. The wall, the spikes, everything can be attacked so that the fighters get damage. Now, what I find this cool about this is similar to like the Vorpal system. Well, I should say Under Night's Vorpal system is very similar to this. However, instead of tagging for like getting a damage buff, which is what that did for that game, it's pretty much you're both using the same health bar. And what it basically comes down to is the first person to like tug of war the other one's health, that person gets knocked down. So, and the referee back there is literally to count. I think it's one of the most unique things I've ever seen in a fighting game. And it's a typical fighting game. Look at it. It's not exactly a beat 'em up. It's actually two characters who are using footsies. Two players using footsies. Look at that. He threw her into the wall for spikes. And see, he's pushing the health towards her side. And the more damage you do, the longer your opponent's going to stay down. I was watching this one. I watched damn near half the video the other day because it was just so cool. This guy's whole game plan is what is this? Japan? Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I guess. Now watch. She's stunned, and you have to get up because you're both sharing the same health bar. And it shows how much little she's got back. So he only has to do like half a combo just to knock her back down again. I'm trying to make sure I pause it before I start trying to back out because it makes the computer work too hard. Normally, I don't have that kind of issue, but today I am apparently. So let's see if I can find. I want to watch a little bit of this back in alpha, which is a game that you can get on the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, which I would definitely like to play. I've been wanting to make get time to play that and learn Mika. Speaking of, there she is right there. Yeah, I swear if I wasn't making a video, I would have no issues with any of this. Just apparently tonight I am. I don't know, maybe it's something I did on the Streamlabs settings. But all I really messed with was audio. The picture should be perfect. Anyway, let me get to where he's playing Geef, because that's where it gets interesting. Was it got Kyokuji? Kyokuji. Yeah. So I've always known that how strong Zangief's green hand was in Street Fighter 4, but I didn't know Alpha had it. I'm pretty sure he had it in Street Fighter 2 as well. I haven't watched a lot of footage of that game. Speaking of older Street Fighters, man, I was going through 5K. I saw two guys playing Street Fighter 1. Fireballs do like damn near your entire health bar. One fireball do like your damn near entire health bar. And you get stunned super long when you get hit by it. I'm gonna see if I can show you that. But yeah, the whole point of this video was just with Blazing Strike coming out and a lot of other the love of a lot of old school games still being played. That's why I look forward to going to CEO this year. and go into Dreamland so I can just play a lot of the old school arcade cabinets and just learn and play what I can. I will most likely get footage of that up when I go this year. So, but yeah, I love fighting games. I love video games in general, and fighting games. I started playing back in. I started making videos in 2012 with MK9. My favorite fighting game of all time is MK9. But I think the best fighting game is CVS2. Like out of all the games I watched that give me the most hype and the most depth, to me is Capcom versus SNK 2. The New Millennium, that's the best fighting game I've ever made. And I can't wait to get down at CEO and just definitely try to play it against people who are gonna body my shit out of these old school players like Boss and Jabali. But just look how crazy it like it's so busted, but it's so fun. Let me see. Look at this. You had to see my face when I first saw it. I was like, Geep has options? Imagine if Geep had that as a feature of Street Fighter 5. He'd be top 5. With the damage he already does, gotta love it. And look at the roster. You got Birdie. I don't want to go back because I don't want it to freeze and mess me up. But yeah, you got Birdie, you got Akuma, Guy. I believe Cody's in this game. You have Adan, Sodom, Rose, Mika, Sakura, Kami, Ken. I think Nash is in this game. Sagat. It's a great roster. Just look at that. And that's because the Vism that he chose. So it's like on a timer as you do it, it kind of runs down. It's similar to like HD and KOF. When you do those long combos in like KOF 13, every time you do a special move, you lose half the HD bar. So the Vism counts down, and every single time he does a special attack, it moves further away. But while that happens, you get a lot of damage. As you can see, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage on the top. It kind of just, it's minute. It's kind of like doing an infinite Marvel 3. Obviously, unlike Marvel 3, though, it's not actually an infinite. It's just a combo that loops because of the meter you're using. And of course, the last video we're going to get around to before we stop the video will be some CVS2 action. And I want you guys to watch the good CVS2. So I'm going to see if I can find that match I was watching. I was watching a Super Battle Opera. So I was watching like the very young Daigo, the very young Tokido playing in the older days of the CVS2 and the big cabinets. And I was hooked on that watching the old Guilty Gear days. Speaking of that, I grabbed Guilty Gear 1, and we're definitely going to sit down and play that later. I'm becoming a connoisseur of the taste of how older school fighting games were, especially if you've seen High Score Girl. That may be a huge fan of Street Fighter 2 and Alpha when that came out, and of course Darkstalkers, because I don't remember either one of those characters' names. It's been a while since I watched that show. But it was just really fun, and because I've always, like I said, I've always liked fighting games. I've never really appreciated the old school games as much. I'm so used to the newer ones. So every once in a while, when I get a taste for wanting to try the older school games, I see what everybody's doing, and everybody's playing like Fightcade or like Parsec or whatever, right? Mostly Fightcade. But I never knew that a lot of these games had this much depth, or that there were this many kinds of old school games. Not old school games, but there were so many kinds of games like that World Warriors game, where it's like you're both sharing a health bar. Imagine a fighting game today where you're sharing a health bar. Just imagine that. Okay, so let me see if I can find. Is this the Fatal Fury one? I mean, somebody was playing Art of Fighting, and I couldn't do that because the camera angles, it's like back and forth. Let's see if this is the one I think it is. Yeah. Okay, look at your boy Duck King. Look at your boy Duck King's dancing. Yeah, you got Yamazaki. Who's that? Is that Hagar? That can't be Hagar. This is Fatal Fury. I don't know who that is. You got Andy, Mai. Yeah, this is Fatal Fury Special. Now I want you to notice something really cool about this once the quality clears up. So this game is 2D with 3D spaces. So it's basically like, imagine if they made a Tekken like this, like 2D, but like it kind of goes in and out. So instead of like having to dash up the sidestep, you would kind of move out of the way. So if you press a button, you're still in sync in the camera. Could be a really weird way, right? Yeah, sorry about the quality. It's taking its time to try to buffer the quality better, but yeah. There we go. Okay. Yeah, Jinshanshu versus Duck King, and Duck King has like the best stance in a fighting game. But see the way like they're moving in and out of the screen, like that is so cool. I would love to play this game. And I'm probably gonna put Duck King just because I like that. The little, the freaking old school hip hop pose it's got going on. Like watch when the match starts. Good boy. And when he says when you pick him, he goes, "Are you ready?" The guy he's posing back, going up and down. Yeah, these are game ideas that are so strong, and they shouldn't be forgotten. We could have some really fun games today made like this with just. I'm not saying they have to be mainstream games, you know, something like Blazing Strike, but another game in the future with this kind of concept. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that whole coolness combo system going in and out. See if I can find. Because I don't think the one I clicked on I put a like on it. So let me see if I can find one of the matches I found. Yeah, see stuff like this. 2020. I don't care for the new school. The game's cool, and on top of that, it's that I love the old school games, but I love how the old school used to be. I don't like the whole esports shit. I just don't. I can't stand it. SPO 2004 finals footage. I don't think I can find the video I played. Is it this one? The one with Daigo and them ran it? I don't know. Let me raise it up a little bit. I want you guys to enjoy this. The old school days, baby. The old school arcade battles. Imagine if Evo was like this now, where instead of the well, don't get me wrong, there'd be a setup for a pad, right? But you have these. I like how the arcade cabinets from side to side. Now I know some Evos now, as far as I know, some tournaments do have the side to side. Some do have the one side and one side. Now to do a couple introductions, we'll skip a little bit of that, but let's see if I can get to. I think this is the one with Daigo. Yeah, that's Daigo. That's Daigo right there. And you're not gonna get the quality better because this is 2004, so this is gonna look like that. Yes, that's Daigo on the right. He's playing Blanca, who I heard was like is good, Sagat, and Guile. I want you to enjoy some of this fight, so I'm gonna raise the volume just a tad so you guys can hear the fight better. Look how cool that is. Look at that. This is that Guile with a KOF style roll. You gotta love the old school. Look at that, the blocking phase shifting in the air. It's almost like Street Fighter meets BlazBlue. Because in KOF games, you can't block in the air. So the fact that he phased out and blocked in the air was so sick. Look at that. Kyo versus Guile. Love it. Is it Umehara? The man who was once called the Beast. Yeah, now Gao's playing Chun. Daigo's playing Chun. And I believe the last character on this team is Sigel. This game I could watch all day. It's so good. Like, I was hooked on watching these kind of tournaments like a week ago. Just Super Battle Opera stuff. Just seeing how fun games used to be before what we got to today. Like, you don't believe me? Watch Yipes video about the Marvel 2 memories. It's like a 5-hour video, but it's him going through his favorite memories of playing Marvel 2 and Marvel 1. It's a long video, but it's called IFC Yipes Memories of Marvel. It's a great video. It's I guess something he did on his stream. Young Dagus. Let's lower this a tad. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there's a. Let me see if I can show you Rumblefish. This is a game I saw being played recently. Let me put Team Spooky because I was watching them play a couple days ago. They have no commentary on it. So, and this is another game that looks, yeah, look how smooth this game is. So let's get into some more old school games. And they're playing on Fightcade too. Now, I watched a little bit of this the other day and I was like, this is just smooth. Look at that. Look at the animation. And of course, the other reason why a lot of games like this don't get made today is because making sprites is hell of expensive. That's the reason why you're not going to get any more sprite heavy KOFs unless they're maybe a fan made version. Something like that. Like KOF 15 could have looked like this, just with or 14, but just with bigger character models, obviously. But yeah. But KOF, the SNK had to join the new times because they didn't have the budget for sprites no more. That's why I still love that SNK versus Capcom. I love seeing the Street Fighter characters with the SNK aesthetic. This game just moves so gorgeously. This is why I can't wait to play Blade Strangers. I mean, I played the game before, but I want to play it more. It has like Shovel Knight in it, Binding of Isaac, quite a few characters, and it's a very fun game. When I get some content up on that for you guys, I can definitely enjoy playing it as well. So the best way to enjoy fighting games is to try all kinds. There are so many people out there who will be like, you know, I only play Immortal Kombat, or like I only play Street Fighter 5 or something. There's just the beauty of fighting games in the variety of how many different kinds of developers take things to try it out. I mean, we still have a lot of insane games on the way. There's a guy who does I don't know about his whole channel being about it, but he creates videos about fighting games that are up and coming. And that's how I found out about like the Shaolin versus Wu-Tang kind of game, because he made a video about that. And on the bottom it mentioned Steam and PC. That's why I got it, and I had a lot of fun putting that up. I don't even remember. I think it was Dashi is how I heard about Terradrome. And I love that game. Terradrome 2. I actually don't remember how I heard about Terradrome 2. No. I think I typed in Terradrome 1 and Random the Legends popped up, and I think I just downloaded it. And it was pretty cool getting a chance to play that and eventually playing against the developer himself. Ryan Acid Sama, something like that. Yeah, my main in that game is Bloody Mary. I'm gonna be making a new video for that game pretty soon too because White Lady just got released. I mean, they're taking a long time getting everything created, but it's one guy and a small team. So look at the gorgeous of this game. Let's fast forward this though, because I don't love watching mirror matches, but let's see what else we got. Gonna ride this mirror match out, huh? So let's okay. Yeah, but see, and matter of fact, there's another guy. Let me see. And you know I love Sam Show, even though that's the new one. I'm not saying I'm like I said, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not saying I'm hating on the newer games. I'm just saying I'm starting to really, really love the old school games. And nothing wrong with the new games, don't get me wrong. I'm really hyped for KOF 15 and whatnot. We are now live. It is me, Psycho Blue, conductor. Alright, I'm not gonna mute this because this is someone else's channel content, so I don't want all their audio on my shit. Not because of DMC, I don't really care about that. I just want to be respectful, that's all. But this is basically it's TMNT versus Justice League. And you can see, let's show you a little bit of the game footage. Yeah, so some of the characters. Matter of fact, I think I could run audio because I did it for one of my other videos. I just have to put a disclaimer in the bottom and lower it a little bit so you guys can hear me and the game. Yeah, this is Flash versus Despero. And this is a new game, I believe. It's a fight. I think it's on Fightcade or PC. I don't know, but yeah. And that's what I mean by the creativity with all kind of fighting games. I mean, hell, this is one of the closest we'll get to a 2D style and like sprites heavy like Injustice game. I do personally think MK versus DC 2 is going to be made. I think the crossover Dream Fighter games are good and they should definitely get made more often. Like I said, I do believe CVS 3 can be made. I mean, come on, right now I can picture Joe and Rashid being a team. Like it's just, these things can happen. I guess it's just waiting more time. The only game I'm not too sure is going to happen is Tekken Cross Street Fighter. That game I'm not too sure is going to happen. And if it does, I think by the time it's made, people aren't going to care. Yeah, so you see if let's flash pressure. Let me see if I got fast forwarded. Like, what's his name just starts dumping on your boy. Yeah, this Death Row guy when he starts making this comeback, it gets insane. So now my computer is feeling better, I assume. And that's the roster there. So I don't know half the characters, but you got April O'Neil. You got I forgot the guy's name with the hockey mask. Casey something. You got Shredder. I think that's Bebop and Rocksteady. The main turtles, of course, and I don't know who this is up here. The one that's Cyber Shredder. The one above Shredder. I don't know. Not huge in the turtle lore. And then on the other side, you have a lot of your basic heavy DC heroes. Is that supposed to be DC Shredder on the bottom right? You have Ubark Dawn right there, which is Reverse Flash. You have Bizarro, Darkseid. I think that's Cheetah, but I can't tell. Batman, Green Arrow, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Superman. So let another match play out here. Yeah, and this guy, I would definitely like to try to play this game out. So if you never heard of this game and you're seeing this for the first time through my video, definitely see a way you can play it. Definitely get back to me if you played it, or you know a link to play it, even though I'll just look at it myself. But lately, right now, I've just been playing a lot of BlazBlue. I've just been loving that game, getting ready because I've been playing the rollback version. Definitely getting ready for Persona 4 next month. And I don't know when Blazing Strike's coming out, but I'm going to be looking forward to playing that. Obviously, the game I'm looking forward to the most this year so far is DNF 2. Like I had so much fun playing that beta, and I can't wait to get my hands on the full cast, the story mode, and other characters I didn't get to play. Look at this bullshit. Let me just re-stomp and lift you. Where you going? Ooh, just look at that. Boosh. Just footsie's the old school style. Like imagine like a game like Injustice with sprites. That would be so cool. And that's another reason why like if Marvel vs. DC was ever get made, I don't think it would be that fun of a game unless they made it like Marvel 3 style. Because if they had made it in this era, it would have been fast paced and insane with a good amount of characters too. I mean, you make it today, you'll have a great roster. But let's say interested it, the game would be really slow. Like there, none of their games are fast except maybe MKX. And if they made it with the speed of that, and depending what they did for like their main system, it could be a great game. But we'll see. We don't know what they got up their sleeve right now. And I don't think Marvel vs. Capcom 4 will be a game anytime soon because of Daddy Disney. I made you guys watch this matchup a little too long, but yeah. Let's see if I can think of any other old school matches, any like stuff like that. I don't think I can. Let's let me see if I can find. Yeah, I was watching a lot of the old school Guilty Gear and Melted Blood. Really hype stuff. He says Daigo had a soul. Yeah, Daigo had a soul. I think it was like right here. Oh, this is Melted Blood. Okay, I thought it was Guilty Gear, but yeah, it's still hype. Now you got my favorite character, Elton. One of these guys, I remember, does like a like Elton Infinite or some shit. It's crazy. But anyway, if you're still watching the video at this point, definitely leave any comments of if you enjoy it. Right here, this is like an Infinite. Yeah, there's one guy who like ropes that like 40 times or some shit, and the crowd is just going insane. But if you're a fan of a lot of the old school games, if you're a big fan of today's games, definitely leave comments below because I definitely love to hear your thoughts on what kind of games you like. Um, I'm sorry I don't make a lot of videos to ask questions to you guys personally. I just make content. I like to play. I like to talk in the videos, but I don't always leave personal questions. I apologize for that. But yeah, definitely if you made it this far in the video so far, I definitely want to hear your thoughts on what kind of games you like and what games you're looking forward to, what kind of game ideas you'd be looking forward to that we may get. Because lately I've just been hooked on watching this kind of stuff. Just love watching classic games, and I've talked about so many ideas of why I love the old school games and how much more fun and appealing they were than today's games are, and how fast they move and how big the communities were for everybody to get to the arcades and play with their friends. Listen to Yipes and Justin Wong and Sanford tell those stories. Those are the best times for some of these players. I mean, this is an invitational of like it's 2v2s for this and for Guilty Gear. It's called Tokugeki. It's literally it's 2v2s in a small room of people who just love fighting games. You know, there's no esports, no sponsors, people who just love video games. And I'm pretty sure they got paid for some of it. I have no idea, but they just love the game. So I can show you some of the the Guilty Gear one. Yeah, there was one video I saw where Nemo's on here, but I don't remember what video that was. Nemo's playing Guilty Gear. He has like a hippie look. This guy's like, yo, I want to bop all y'all. This is why I love arcades and I hope they never go away. It's fun to still have these. Taito Station and Chinatown Fair, New York. It's just these games still live, and that's why I love Jabali is big on getting those vendors to bring the arcade machines out for CEO. I'm pretty sure they do it for Evo too, but yeah, it's just big. And June definitely gonna be there. If you guys are going, definitely link it below, and you can find me in Dreamland. I'm gonna be playing on the old school arcade machines most likely the entire weekend. I think the only games I'm gonna enter in tournament is Central Fiction and BB Tag, most likely, and maybe KOF 15 if I'm decent at it. Look at this Millia pressure. Look at this shit. This looks so much more appealing than Strive. Like Rev 2 is a great game too. Like Strive is just slow. I mean, it moves fast once there's good players, but look at Millia's old school look too. Look at that shit. Look at these combos. Feels like a Sailor Moon villain. Look at this. Just where are you going, Faust? Look at this. None of this combos either, and you can't attack. He went through all that fanciness, and I was like, "Yo, that Faust is about to get it on me." Oh, we got Dizzy here. I think Dizzy's so dope. If I could find more people to play Rev 2, I'd be playing Dizzy in that. Yeah, all I'm saying is enjoy where games are today, but definitely go back to your roots. Even if you don't know about a lot of those games, definitely give them a try because they're definitely something to appreciate. And that's why the memories of a lot of those players who had those days always enjoy them because you're not going to get them back unless the games themselves go away, which they won't. But and these days, like the arcade heavy tournament days, are gone. But God, they were so good for the time. 2004, man. I was in middle. No, I was in high school. I graduated in 2006. I was in I was in 10th grade when this came out, and I was missing all this in school. I don't even remember what I was into at that time. I think it was music, and I don't know, but well, obviously everybody's into music, but I played games back then too, but not fighting games. I didn't get into fighting games until 2009 because I had a pad and I was playing Street Fighter 4 when that came out. And my brother was extremely hyped to get it, and we were playing Street Fighter 4 vanilla here and there. I learned to play here and there, and then once MK9 came out, that's where the big story changed. That's when I got an arcade stick to play that game, and I've been playing fighting games ever since. We got Kai. Okay. Yo, look at that Kai move. You saw that? It's like a gunshot. This Millis bullshit. This guy's a really good Millia player. Is that Saber? No, because I know Saber. He has in Rev too. He kind of jumps and like throws a hammer down his brain. Just look at the speed of how everything happens. There's some stuff where like characters can get if I can go back and show you more of the Street Fighter 2 matches, but I don't want to make the video like super long. You guys can find all those footage on your own. Hell, there's a Sailor Moon fighting game on Nintendo. There's a Fate Stay Night series fighting game. You know, there's you can find people playing tournaments for like the classic good stuff like Killer Instinct and just like I said, Street Fighter One. It's just I love it, you know. And I didn't know a lot of these games had depth and communities for these games, so I just through Fightcade and videos around Fightcade, I'm looking to see a lot of the games people played, and that's why that thing I just showed you with Rumble Fish on Team Spooky. When they do after hours, right now they're doing a lot of old school stuff. Every time I turn on there, they're playing like JoJo's or Rumblefish, CVS2, stuff like that. So, right, and from there you've seen the rest of that match already. So, but I think that's gonna go ahead and do it. I don't want to cover like I don't want to make the video like an hour long or something. I'm just talking about old school games. But the whole point of the video that today was pretty much just I've just been watching a lot of this lately, just enjoying the beauty of old school games, and a new one is about to join the family, which is Blazing Strike, and whenever that comes out, so with my love of those kind of games and this game being a new thing, of course I'll cover a lot of footage of that game once that's released, and I have another couple games like Blade Strangers, more content for Omen of Sorrow, more Terror Drum 2 kind of stuff, just all kinds of different fighting games, but mostly the appeal of games different from the basic norm of today is what I'm really into right now, and just experiencing those kind of games. As I get older, I just really enjoy the feel of that kind of fighting game. And I definitely can't wait to sit down at Dreamland and just play Marvel 2, CBS 2, the old Sam Show games, the old Guilty Gear games. Because I was at a tournament once where they had an arcade for Exocor, and I got to play that. I played I think May, and it was really cool. So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here. Definitely leave any comments of what you guys enjoy playing, what kind of games of this era or back then that you liked. Sorry about repeating a lot of that stuff. I just try to make a point through my speech. You get it. You get it. Anyway, hope you like. Oh, sorry. Hope you like Cassie Cage. This has been Evans Gaming covering old school games, and definitely, like I said, look up Yipes, Justin, Sanford. There's a ton of people who talk about the old school days. You could definitely listen to their stories and what those arcade days meant to them. And for me personally, my favorite time was before esports. Like, I loved everything that came from like the days of MK9 with the salty sweets, all that stuff. It's just, I mean, those were the days before esports where you could go on the forums and talk with good players. And I don't mean like your average player who's really good. I meant like Katana Prime, Foxy Grandpa. Those players were in chat rooms, and it wasn't like today with it like oh they have like a if you're not if you're not known they won't talk to you unless someone hypes you up. That's how it is now. Back then it wasn't like that. When I got on TYM in 2009 or 10, and I made my profile about Scarlet, and that was who I was playing, I had messages from Katana Prime, Superior Magic, who you've seen on a couple of my videos, Lord of the Fly, Big D. I played against a lot of these guys. Pig of the Hut and I had some chats. I met Tom Brady at a tournament once, and I told him that I would play his Sub Zero with Scarlet, and he was telling me he would play him with Johnny Cage, and we had a small conversation about that. Now, if I was ever run a Tom Brady, even though because of COVID and stuff, a lot of those players don't really show up anymore, but if I did, he probably wouldn't say nothing to me, but he'd probably down at me. It's just that's how it is now. People have gotten older, and sponsors and stuff turn people. The jersey becomes the ego, and the players are just not the same. And I enjoyed those times more because I could have fun playing them, talking to them, and then in tournaments meeting them. And back then it wasn't like outside of a small few, like with Justin Wong and them, it was always with Ricky and F Champ and all those players, and they were always like tight knit. And if you could find them, you could get a chance to speak to like Gutex and Mike Ross if they were off somewhere. But now it's like they're all tight knit. You can still don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna say that they won't talk to you, but it's like it was not even about talking to you back then. It was more because of the stuff like the forums, where you could actually speak to them and get conversations. Oh, could we get games? I like watching Ninja Killer. I like watching your Liu Kang. Can we play? I'm pretty sure he gives his games to subscribers. But in the times that I was playing, I would have met him in a forum, and I had been like, "Oh, I've seen your Liu Kang," and we would have played. I wouldn't have to be a fucking subscriber or something. You know, he would have just played me back then. You know, and it's just I miss how fun everyone used to love to be with just giving out information about tournaments, meetups, matches, tech. We had Somberness back then who gave all the stuff for MK9, the footage about that. And, the community of fighting games as a whole was so tight knit, and esports to me just divided a lot of it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's just how I see it. So, uh, let's see if I'm missing a topic, but yeah, it's back in those days. And those were the game. Those are when the games were the best. It was KO 13, Tekken 6, Tekken Tag 2 would come out. What else was big? Obviously Street Fighter 4, and then Ultra 8 came out. And then I remember having a conversation with a bunch of friends of mine because Momochi had picked Jury against Smug at CEO, I think 2012 or 2013, and top 8 and beat Smug. And I remember going off in the crowd because on Event Hubs at that time, Momochi had said that in the arcaded version, Jury was top 1. So people were all like, Jury shit and this and that. And Mochi was like, no, she's good. So when he beat Smug, I was telling everybody, I was like, don't y'all ever sleep on Jury, man. And I was playing Jury even before that, but I got more hype after watching Momochi do that. So I always have Jury as like a pocket character. She's one of my favorite characters in Street Fighter history. My favorite character in Street Fighter period is Vega, and I mean Claw, because if you look at the old school games, Vega will be Bison. But I just love it, But yeah, man, just the good old times of those days. Like go back and look up. It's called CEO 2012, I believe, or 13. I think it's 2013. It's like called Day One Vlog or something like that, and it's a 3-part breakdown of how the community was back then. It was just it's not a documentary. It's literally just a guy filming 3 different days of CEO, and it's just really fun to watch. Don't because I hate esports personally because I just feel like it has turned fighting games into a big cash market, and I do love how that represents the players, but the morale of it I don't like. Like I feel like it's just taken away what made the game so fun. It turned it from a giant community into everybody wants to be a tryhard now. Everybody wants to be sponsored, make money, and that's what you should want. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that has turned away from like the feel of the old school. And just for me, and I haven't been playing fighting games for maybe more than not even 10 years. What is it, 2012? Yeah, yeah. It would actually be 10 years now because it's 2022. So I've been playing fighting games for 10 years, and yeah, I just back in those days everything was just better. And I don't want to get into a rant about it because I know I'm gonna split a lot of opinions for those of you that get this far. But me personally, no, I don't like the direction of fighting games anymore. I can't watch tournaments because I hate all the esports shit. I can't stand the commentary. I feel like Tasty Steve just tries to be yipes. I don't know. Just I can't listen to none of this shit. It's so weird seeing like James Chen with long hair. Don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on James. Now I love James. James is my favorite commentator. But yeah. Now I go back and watch CEO 20 or Evo 2013 when James used to wear suits and commentate Ultra David. And when Eris was still a big name, I love watching his old Tekken tutorials. And now he's just a grumpy ass old man who plays random games for his streamers. We have fallen so far. I've had a lot of things I want to say about this, but I don't like to get big onto rants because they don't age well. When you go back and watch the video, the rants about random shit just don't age well. I just had a couple points about why I don't like esports and why I miss the old school style of video games. I mean, fighting games, and that's about that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. I mean, I may sprinkle more stuff of those kind of topics through just random streams or whatever. But yeah, I just love that fighting game era I grew up in, and I really don't like where it is now. I just don't. But I will support the games. I just don't love the community as a whole as much as I used to. But that's just me. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I thank you guys once again, Evans Gaming. And I will see you guys in the next video. More content to come soon. Please like, subscribe if you enjoy the content. If you like the video, definitely leave any comments, and I will get back to you. Thank you again once for watching.